Welcome to my latest vlog, and today we haven't got the best of weather in London, but look at where I am. Look at that. That is the former Olympic Park back in 2012 in London, and it's now called the Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park. I lost my hat now because it's getting quite actually hot. The sun suddenly came out. Look at me there. You know, like behind me is the West End Stadium now, and used to be the Olympic Stadium. And you know, it's kind of what I want to talk about today. You know, like it's the old style but changing the names, because the Minolta SLR is what Sony SLR or DSLRs used to be. You know, like Sony actually bought Konica Minolta a few years back, you know, to start off the photography market for them, and now they're very successful. And you know, give all credit to Sony. They have done the right stuff, you know, into marketing, R&D, and also effort pushing into the mirrorless market. But this is what all started. But before that, you know, like Minolta was making great cameras for years and decades, and this actually was their pinnacle cameras that they was hoping to capture the professional market that was previously dominated mainly by Canon and Nikon, really. And so, you know, it shows their effort. You know, like you can actually tell, you know, they put a lot of effort, imaginations, resources, money. They're trying to make this work, because the Dynix 9 is an absolute blast, you know, like to hold and to feel, to shoot with as well. You know, in all regards, it's actually very, you know, spectacular camera, you know, back in the days. First of all, let me start off one thing. This camera still holds the record of having the fastest mechanical shutter speed in the world, even today. I'm not joking. I'm not talking about electronic shutters, which you can do, I don't know, 50, 100,000 a second. I have no idea. I lost count now. I lost the speed nowadays. But mechanical, you know, like a lot of the professional SLRs or even DSLR these days, you know, mechanical shutters can go up to 1/8,000 a second. You know, that's kind of the top end. And then also, you know, like a lot of the consumer grade with 1/4,000 a second, even like Leica cameras, you know, they have mechanical shutter 1/4,000 a second. So this thing at 1/12,000 a second is unheard of. You know, like not many people actually know that, but to do a shutter that fast requires a lot of precision technologies. You know, it's a lot of things to do with it. You know, they have to make a lot of dampers, springs, you know, like everything has to pin sharp accurate. You know, like there's no question about it. So this thing actually is something else. And also, you know, sync speed, you know, also another first is probably, I don't think anyone has broken the record yet. It's 1/300th a second. You know, for SLR technology, this is actually incredible. You know, you can actually sync the flash at 1/300th, which means you can actually open up a little bit more flexibility when shooting in daylight like this. You know, like it's actually quite cool. And my particular model, you know, is, you can tell the color difference, you know, because normally the Dynix 9 comes with black, which is a complete magnesium alloy. This one came with the titanium body. It's actually solid titanium, is not just coated on the surface. So it's actually quite a rare breed, because Minolta only make 1,000 of them, so it's becoming quite a rare collector's item. So I have one of these here, you know, which I'm quite enjoying to use. It's not a mint model, because you know it's been used, so it's got a lot of kind of use mark everywhere. But you know, it's a joy to use, and ergonomically, this thing actually holds as well as any Canon EOS camera that I used to love. You know, like the Canon EOS 3 and 1V, they have great ergonomics, but this thing is also very good as well. Even though it has titanium body, it's still heavier than my Canon 1V. Believe me or not, this thing is really like a tank. And so I really enjoy this little camera. And also, you know, like why I like this camera as well is because, you know, I previously mentioned, you know, about the kind of like futuristic EOS 3's eye control focusing system. This one doesn't have that, you know, because this is actually developed probably just slightly behind that. And then but the thing is, this thing is all about kind of direct connection between the camera and the photographer. So you can look at all this style here, you know, they're all very functional, very direct. It just, you know, like there's no kind of a tricky way to do things, you know, like you don't have to go through combo buttons like the EOS 3 and 1. You can just basically directly choosing compensation dials, mode dials, drive dials, you know, it's all right here in front of the camera on the top plate. So it's just marvelous, you know, like it just kind of like Leica, but in an SLR body kind of thing. So it's magnificent, you know. These things, you know, it's kind of hard to combine now. I'm really hoping, you know, more and more camera will follow this kind of concept. And having said that, I think Fuji recently has done just that, you know, like having all the dials on the top plate so everyone can actually control the camera quite nicely now. So there you go. So this is kind of a really nice camera to use. So if you're in the market looking for a film camera to use, you know, you can check out some of the original Minolta cameras. And if you want into the slightly more technologically advanced SLRs film cameras, you can't go wrong with a Dynix 9. You know, you can pick one up for relatively cheap now for the black version. The titanium, you can probably forget it because they are quite expensive, you know, like, and it's more of the collector's items. So there you go. There you go, a kid is crying behind me. If you are really wanting to get a Minolta cameras to try out, and this is probably one of the best models to get, you know, but remember, this thing is not compatible with SSM motored lenses, you know, like from the later kind of like early 2000 models onwards, because this has not got the firmware to support those lenses, unfortunately. So these will only work with the older Minolta lenses, and but anything that label SSM, you know, is not actually compatible, so you can't really even use that. The only models that come after that, the Dynix 7, actually is compatible. If you want to shoot that, that's fine. But I just love all the kind of really solid feeling of the dials and functions on this camera. So it's more direct, and seriously, to me, you know, like I'm shooting mostly prime anyway, so I can pick up some really cheap prime from Minolta back in the days, and I can have fun all day long. So this is actually a very awesome camera to try out. And remember, you know, like if you want to get one of these, look for the black one, not this titanium one, because they are very expensive these days. And unless you're collectors, but if you're a collector, you're probably not gonna shoot with it anyway. So pick up a black one, black version. You know, they're fantastic. You know, they're really good values now. And you should really try it. 1/12,000 of a second, you know, it's just amazing. Anyway, you know, like I have a lot more other things to show you guys in my future vlogs, and I've got other film cameras I'm going to show you as well. So hopefully you enjoy this one, and I'm really hoping that, you know, like I want to see more of you guys shooting some films, and tell me like about some of your kind of favorite cameras as well, you know, and leave the comment down below. Hopefully, if I have access to one, or if I actually own one, I'm gonna bring it into the show and just show you guys as well, and what I like about them in particular. So far I've talked about the EOS 3, the Dynix 9 Ti, and don't know what's gonna next. Maybe my 1V. If you like 1V, bring it. Just listen to this. God, 1/12,000 of a second. Look at this. Can you see that? Oh yes.